Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. So thank you so much for tuning in. I have so much to share with you today and so much to go over, all budget related. And what you see here is my Happy Planner Big, and I have reverted back to using this book for at least video purposes, because a lot of you have weighed in, given your opinion, and you say that this is easier to follow, it looks cleaner, and it's just a nicer way to, I guess, look at the numbers over the method of bullet journaling. So I think what I'm going to do, since I did create these bullet journal layouts in my Scribbles That Matter book, I'm probably still going to be giving you guys a flip through of that probably once a week or so, just so you can see what it looks like. And some of you are inspired to do it this way. Some of you not so much. It's just a little much, which I totally get. But I have to fill in this. In fact, last week I didn't fill in anything because we were in such flux with the situation, but I will explain that. But yeah, I think once a week I will give you guys a little flip of that. But for budgeting on camera, I'm going to stick with the Happy Planner Big. And this one expires, it goes through December of 2020. So I have to replace and start setting it up for 2021. All right, so I have some really, really exciting news to share, and that is my husband received his back pay for his unemployment. So that just happened yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday? Anyway, he went to the bank yesterday, late. Okay, but anyway, it just happened, and oh my gosh, we are so relieved, blessed, excited. We have so many plans, and I have all the cash here. We're going to count it together, but that is not going to stay in my possession physically for very long. I'm going to go put this in our other bank account, and hopefully I'll be able to do some transfers to my Capital One. So for those of you who are transferring from your regular bank, your local bank, to your Capital One account because you don't have a Capital One branch near you, the method to do that with is Zelle. Capital One uses Zelle, and my local bank happens to, but my old local bank, I have two, uses something called Pay People Now or something. Oh my gosh, what a disaster. So that takes like 5 days, and when you use Zelle, it's literally seconds. So I much prefer Zelle, but they do have some limitations. They have a daily limit, they have a monthly limit, so you just have to be mindful of that, of how much money you're transferring. So but back to the unemployment payment, my husband spent the better part of an afternoon on the phone with our state's unemployment office, talked to several different people, finally was able to make things click with the representatives who were handling his case. So they processed it pretty immediately after that happened, and he got the back pay. So other thing is, we're going to have to pay taxes on all that money that he received as unemployment this year, because taxes were not taken out. You'll see that on the screenshots. I'm not sure where I'm going to fit the screenshots in this video, but you'll see that. But anyway, so he also got the COVID money with it, or the CARES Act money, I should say. And so it was just a blessing, and it's really going to allow us to have a safety net and to really protect ourselves in case anything else should happen. He did lose his job this year, and I got a pay cut, about $400 a month. So you just point of the story is you never know what's going to happen. So on the downside is that his paycheck was messed up for his new job, and he ended up bringing in about $228 last Friday. Now, the reason why I'm putting on this day is, please don't pay attention to this. I'm actually going to draw a tiny little line through that. I'm getting paid tomorrow, and he is getting paid tomorrow. But He was in two different areas, two different functions of his job because he's training and he's learning different modules, and he went on one module and it was a little bit earlier than they anticipated, and he was basically on nobody's radar. So he only got paid for the one portion, and the other days that he worked, he got paid nothing. So they're looking into that. I don't have any idea how it's going to play out. He's really trying not to make any kind of waves, just kind of be patient with the process because it's just good to have a job. So we'll see how it goes. Unemployment, we're going to count this together. He did get the money out of his account, his old bank account, which is what he had on file. So we took that out of there, and then I'm going to transfer it to our new bank account. And my paycheck is coming on this Friday, and then I'll give you guys some totals. So I need to play catch up a bit because with this money, it didn't go very far for our expenses for this week. We did get this money last Friday. And so what I did, because I thought that they would have his check straightened out, I thought they would pay him the remainder of what he worked, but that didn't happen. So I kind of held on to that until the last minute, and I was just expecting to just pay everything at once. So I put all our groceries and gas and dog food and things like that on Discover. So I need to do a little catch up and pay our Discover. One thing that I did, and I've never done this before, is I marked off that I paid, or I put money into our bank account for our automatic insurance withdrawal for our car insurance, and I marked that I did it. I checked it off, and it just fell off my radar, and I bounced it today. So that was great. I don't know what I was thinking. I was on autopilot. I don't know if I just have too much going on in my head, but I was on autopilot apparently, and fully intended to put that money in, and I just never did, and so that bounced. So what I need to do today is take the money from here and go put that in there, plus the overdraft fee, because I don't have overdraft protection. It's an old account, and I think it's like $35. So I'm gonna have to do that. So let's count the money first. So we'll flip this over, and like I said, this all needs to go into the bank today.
So 100, 200, 300, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1,000.
He should have a little over $8,000 here. So it's a big payout. I'm going to say that, and I know you guys must be thinking, wow, that's crazy. But we went 9 weeks without any income whatsoever, and I'm not, saying it's anybody's fault or, whatever. It's just a situation, and so I don't want to seem like, this is like lottery money. It's not. It's actually for us to, kind of catch up to where we should have been. And so that's how I look at it. And it's a bit of a safety net for us too.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3,000. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 758, 859, 950, 4,000.
And the reason why I'm even mentioning that is because I just don't want it to seem tone deaf. I know that everybody is struggling right now, and we were too. I was doing Grubhub after working a full day of my job and just trying to make ends meet. So I just don't want to seem insensitive to anybody who's still struggling. And in fact, this is going to help us fund our sinking funds and just be a little bit more comfortable. But honestly, for my husband to lose his job after, more than 25 years, and for me to get a pay cut after 20 years, I do know what it's like, and I know what it's like to be in debt. So I just don't want this to come off as insensitive, like, oh my gosh, look at all this money we just got. It's not a landfall or a windfall. It's just us catching up to where we really should have been. So, and then some. So I feel grateful.
So 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 50, 5,000. Alright, so 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, oops, nope, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 550, 6, 650, 7, 758, 850, 9, 950, 6,000, 50, oh jeez, 1, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 57,000, did I say? I don't know. Alright. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 58,000. Okay? And 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 850. All right.
So I think we have 8,850. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 850. All right. So 8,850. You know, I contemplated on whether or not to even do this video, but so many of you have been following my journey, and I'm so incredibly transparent on everything that happens to us financially. So this is just part of our journey. And like I said, I don't feel smug about this in any way, or, you know, I don't really feel any type of way about it except relieved, because it really does help us advance. And, you know, with things like this happening, $228 paycheck, and I'm not saying that's permanent, but, you know, it's just, it feels good. It feels secure. So, you know, we just need to be prepared for life and the curveballs and things like that. And I know you guys know that we have a charge account with a mattress on it, and we have a Home Depot account with our flooring and basement renovations. And you're probably wondering, am I going to pay that off first? And I don't think so, because I'm riding out the 0% interest offers. And I really want to get through this situation where my husband's on like a probationary period and things just aren't quite solidified yet as far as I guess security, permanency, everything. I just don't feel quite ready to let out that deep breath. So I won't be doing any major payoffs or things like that. And I'm totally comfortable keeping it the way it is, even if I kept it like that for good, because, you know, they were 0% offers, and I'm pretty good with that. So let's talk about cash envelopes. Okay, so we have groceries, of course. And then, I don't know if you guys saw my grocery haul. I did one as part of Vlogtober, and I did a recipe in there too. It was more of a method than a recipe, but I ended up getting my groceries last week from Giant Eagle, and I paid way too much money for things. So that was a little bit of a disappointment in myself. I'm a big fan of Aldi's. In fact, I'm going to share with you some candles that I got at Aldi's recently. And they're kind of dupes for Bath & Body Works, in case you're interested. They have their holiday candles out, so if you have an Aldi's near you, I would definitely say check that out, because they're $3.99 compared to whatever Bath & Body Works is charging these days. I mean, I think it's different like every week that you go in there. So I also need to play catch up, so I'm going to write that over here. I know this is a long video, but there's, like I said, there was a lot to talk about. All right, so catch up from last week was approximately 150 in groceries. It was like 136 some, and then I bought a couple of teas and stuff like that. $25 for dog food, so food, and then dog food. All right, and about $60 for gas. And then I need to come up with $140 for our insurance. I cannot believe I did that. In fact, I don't even know what I did with the money. I feel so confused lately and like disorganized. And when things like this happen, like I just feel so thrown for a loop. It's ridiculous. So this is my overdraft fee that I know I'm gonna have to pay. And so that is all catch up. So let's talk about what that total is. All right, so $150 for food, $25 for dog food, $60 for gas, $140, $35, comes to $410, and I forgot I spent about $40 at Aldi's. So that's $450. So right off the bat, I have to put that much money into my bank accounts just to bring myself current. All right, so let's talk about groceries for this week. I'm gonna go ahead and do $120. I'm gonna do $25. In fact, I'm gonna go $125. I'm going to do $50. And we'll see. So that is $150, $200. All right, so $200. Now my November bills, I'm gonna fill this out in a separate video because I use my paycheck to mostly cover those, and then I'll have to subsidize. So, all right, so $450 and $150 is $600. So let's go ahead and organize that first. So for the dogs and groceries, I need $150 for these two. So what I'm going to do, since I don't have the right change, is I'm going to take $150 and I'm going to put it in the grocery envelope, and then I'm going to mark it groceries $125. And then dog food. Without my Post-its, I get disorganized real quick. So I need to make sure that I'm staying on top of things. I don't know if I'm just like going through a depression. You know, I don't see my friends. I don't know what we're doing for the holidays. Our holiday plans are pretty much up in the air. We always host and have a big Thanksgiving here, a big Christmas with friends and extended family, immediate family, and I just don't know if it's going to be possible this year. And I just have been really struggling mentally. And I do have anti-anxiety medication, but now I'm feeling like, girl, you know what? It's more than that. It's like depression at this point. So I have to put, let's see, I'm all disorganized here. I have to put $450 back into the bank. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and $450. That is going to replenish my Discover card. So all of those little, I don't want to call them extras, all the incidentals, the variables that I had to spend money on, I used Discover card. Except for here, of course, the insurance and the overdraft fee, I'm going to have to put that in too. All right, so that is called bank deposit. All right, and then I have listed $50 for gas for this coming week. So I'm doing this on a Wednesday, but this money in, let's see, the groceries and the gas is for next week. So I always do my grocery shopping, and we just pull from gas whenever we get it, but I do my grocery shopping on the weekend, so this is going to be for next week. All right, so I have my bank deposit money, I have my gas money, and grocery money. All right, so let's, what did we have here? $88.50 minus $450, oops, $88.50 minus, oh good Lord, $88.50 minus $450 minus $200. All right, so now we're down to $8,200. And what did I put down for my November bills? Let's see. Oh boy. Did I list that last week? No, of course I didn't. All right, well, I'll do that in a separate video anyway. But let's talk about emergency savings, Christmas, and dogs. So with $8,200, I can really fund this. Oh, and taxes too. So I am having a little bit of trepidation about what's going to happen with our taxes. You know, considering Grubhub and putting aside as much money as I have to offset that, and knowing that we always get a refund every year, I think that would be a wash. But with the unemployment money, it's not going to be a wash. I just know it. So I have the money that's in the sinking fund right now, but I'm not exactly sure how much we need to put aside, you know, to be comfortable, or if what I should do is just move all this tax money into our savings money, because I don't want to confuse it with emergency. Emergency is something I just don't want to touch. So once it's in there, I want to leave it in there and save it for that rainy day that I hope never comes again, but we never know. So this was something that we should have had in place a long time ago, and we just never did. And I'm disappointed in myself because we had so much debt to pay off, and we were just not in a good situation financially to ever really concentrate on this until recently. But once that money's in there, I just don't want to touch it should my husband lose his job again, or should I lose my job, because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. So I don't want to confuse anything with emergency that I would have to pull from. So I'm thinking about moving my tax money into my savings, and then just start, you know, putting money into there. And then once we go to pay our taxes, whatever we do owe is just going to have to come out of here. It's just, there's no other way around it. And I can't see another solution. For our Christmas, I still have $1,200 in there, but I know I'm going to have to start pulling from that because I have some Christmas gifts that I need to get, or some ideas already, and I want to make sure that, you know, I get what I need. So that's not going to be in here for much longer. And then the dogs, I only have $100 in there. And I suppose if something happened where we couldn't cover it with our income, I would have to pull any dog emergency from our savings too. So I think my savings, it has kind of been, you know, this thing in the background that I haven't really been paying enough of attention. Well, I mean, I guess I paid as much of attention to it as I could, but I really need to start thinking about this moving forward. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move our tax money into the savings. I'm probably going to eliminate the tax bank account that I have, or the bank account that I have for it, or I'm going to call it something different and, you know, allocate this account for something totally different and just create a new sinking fund. But again, I think that's something that I could do in a separate video. So that's where I'm at right now. I did my cash envelopes, talked about the unemployment back pay, and now it's just time for me to figure things out and just get my head on straight. Because like I said, I'm just struggling, guys. I don't know what the answer is. If it's like, you know, I don't know what the answer is, but I'm struggling, and I just need to get it together. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it provided some closure for a lot that I complained about and I worried about and I talked about for the longest time with this back pay. And I hope if any of you who are still waiting such a payment, that you have some resolution soon. For us, it took April, May, June, July, August, September, October. It took almost 7 months. So, you know, if that gives you any kind of, if it gives you any kind of comfort to know that just because, you know, months have gone by and you still haven't gotten any resolution, just don't give up, because it took us almost 7 months. So, you know, keep calling, keep persevering, and, you know, keep your record straight and everything in order, and hopefully, you know, things will start to iron out. And hopefully 2021 is just, I don't want to say a better year, an easier year for everybody. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Please leave me a comment if you have any feedback or inputs, and I hope that I see you guys very soon. Take care.